Hello everyone, today we have another VOD review, this one sent in by the illustrious Baxter Rhodes, and he asks about angles. Remember the angles video I put out earlier? He asks if he's using angles properly, and he also, it looks like we have some issues with his aim, so we're going to check it out. Looks like we have some work to do, Baxter Rhodes. But anyway, we're going to start at the first section of this map, and my angles video did say you want to be safe, you want to be behind corners, but this player is playing a little bit too safe. So of course, the cart is all the way up there. That's where we should be defending, trying to at least stop them a little bit. But our hero decides to run away. Not very courageous of him. But basically, we're going to stay in this little cave, poke out a little bit. But you can see we're not going to really apply any pressure. Pretty much not a lot of help actually at all onto the point itself. So we're going to stay back here. We're a little bit paranoid about the McCree who's walking around, but overall we just want to stay in our safe little cave back here, which is, it's okay. You know, I understand we all want to be safe. We don't want to be shot in the head, but we have to go. We have to make stuff happen. We have to do stuff, Baxter, so let's get out there. Earlier in the round, we can see he thinks about going over in this area, over here. And this would be really good if you stand behind these pillars. Now you're blocked off from all this nasty stuff over here. You can stand behind this pillar. You can even stand up here onto this high ground. As long as you're careful for this cave right here, you can stand behind that. Lots of nice stuff you can do. Even on the low ground, you can stand behind this house down there, as you see. Or even there's a structure below that you can hide in as well. So there's lots of nice angles you can take that look directly at this first period of the point, because you can't let it go all the way to the end, obviously, without contesting it. And we should have been a little bit more courageous, gone up to these more frontal areas. Because you see now, as we jump back to the present, the cart is really far underneath us. And because of that, on this particular point, when you let the cart get so far, there's no good angle on it that's still safe. Now, this is a little bit ridiculously unsafe and out in the open, but at the same time, you don't want to let it push that far up. And even now, you could have stood behind the pillar a little bit more. So you always have to make sure that you're standing at proper, safe angles, but at the same time, they can see the important area of the map. That's always the most important thing. You always want to be able to see what's going on, see what your team is doing. And so this is a pretty common spot for Soldier up here. It's a little bit dangerous, as you can see. There's not much to hide behind, although you do have the ability where you can drop like that, and so that's what makes this a strong place, even though it kind of looks like it's out in the open. But I mentioned before something about aim, and that is what we're going to start to talk about now. And we see that even when Baxter is in proper locations, when he's at proper angles, he can't find too much, and that's not because, at least I don't think, he didn't include this in the email. This is not because he has some sort of physical limitation. It's because his aim is kind of strange. He has some bad fundamentals, and so let's get into that. Now, I'm not too sure because I don't know exactly what his sensitivity is, but it looks to me like it's incredibly way ultra super too high. And normally I don't really get people on, I don't get people on this very much, but it looks really super high because he's exhibiting a behavior that's pretty common with people who have super mega ultra ridiculously high sensitivity, and that's that he actually moves very slowly around. You can see he always turns his camera like he'll turn it a little bit and stop. It almost looks like he's on a controller. And ironically, having super high sensitivity like that, you'd think would make you move more, but in reality it just makes it so you have to move less because each movement has to be very careful. Plus something that he's doing that's very bad is what you just saw there. Did you see it? Well, I'll play it again. This, trust me, will kill you in the long run. This is the worst habit to possibly get. He starts shooting now and then he aims. Starts shooting and then aims. Let's see if he does it again. Starts shooting, then aims. Okay, that starts shooting, then aims. Okay, we just saw it a bunch of times. I think you get the point. He's not aiming. He starts to shoot, and then he whips his mouse around to try to get on track. And that's something that's kind of, I don't see a lot of people do it, but I do see people do it sometimes, and that is, like I said, the worst habit you can ever get as far as aiming goes. Now, unfortunately, BattleNet is down right now, so I can't do my normal, let's hop into game and check this out. But, yeah, Can't do that. My aiming video, though, that I will link below, it goes all over this. You have to aim, make sure you're hitting them, and then shoot. So if we were to pause this, let's say we were to want to shoot at their, come on, someone pop out for me to shoot at. Here we go. So there's a soldier right here to shoot at. And now our camera happens to be pretty close to him already. But instead of going shoot, 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 drag, you want to point the mouse at the head and then click when you're sure you have the shot. It's going to make you worse at first, theoretically, but it will train you up over time. This I'm going to call it like lazy way of shooting is only going to be good at the very, very lowest levels of play, and it's not going to help you scale up at all or get any better. And also, the player's crosshair placement is not very good, but we have enough things to work on with aim already that's not something to really worry about. The main thing, though, is I would like to actually know what this player's sensitivity is in general, but I'm 99% certain that it's way, way, way ultra too high just from seeing how he kind of like flicks his mouse around. And so turn that down. Plus, make sure you start to focus on shooting people in the head, and don't click the button until you're sure that you're over their head. Also, for soldiers specifically, you're going to notice that this player only sprays, which makes sense considering his style of aim is just start shooting and then dragging. We'll see it right here. So here you can see he's going to try to shoot at the Farah, and you see he's shooting well before his cursor is actually on her, and he's just spraying. Baxter does this all the time. All he ever does is spray. So of course on soldier you want to shoot maybe 3 or 4 bullets out and then stop, and then shoot 3 or 4 bullets out. It's much better to shoot 2 or 3 headshots than to just spray an entire clip in. It's going to make you much better in the long run, even if it doesn't feel necessarily as good at first. You might dip like 1 or 200 skill rating while you actually learn to properly aim instead of the spray everywhere. So Baxter, that is the number one thing you need to work on. Is not even just like, it's not because your reflexes are bad or you're not trained. It's just because you're not trying to aim at all, basically. You're not trying to aim properly. And of course, check out my aiming video that I will link below for more information on that. It's only 10 minutes long. It's not that bad. He also asks a question in his email: do gold medals mean that I'm playing well? Do gold medals mean that I'm playing DPS well? And I think it's pretty clear that it does not mean that. Having a gold medal as a DPS player is, I mean, who are you really competing with here? You're competing with, I think that this is a newly swapped onto Farah. You're pretty much only competing with your Hanzo, because remember, you have 2 supports. Well, ideally you have 2 supports, right? You're not competing with them. You're not competing with your tanks. I don't think this Farah has always been there. I think that was a tank earlier. So you're only competing with pretty much one other player for this damage done medal. It's really not that big of a deal to get gold. And as you can see, it's just, getting gold does not mean that you're playing particularly super ultra mega well. So that is my answer. Don't worry about the medals. They are meaningless. I mean, look, you have silver healing, right? So to summarize, we need to work on our aiming fundamentals, not just like, I don't mean just go into practice and grind Ana headshots for like 20 hours. I mean just actually, learn what the fundamentals of aiming are. In addition to, as far as your angles go, oftentimes you're playing very, very safe, but a little bit too safe. As you see, we're back here and we can't see much. I noticed that for most of the game, the second half of the game, I'm mostly looking at this. I'm mostly looking at walls and just hiding and stuff. So don't take the angles to too extreme of a level. Make sure that you are at a proper angle where you can look at everything while still being safe. You can't just, hide away forever. And I wish that I could show you some angles on Route 66 right now, but unfortunately, BattleNet is down for me, and we need to get a video out. We need those views, that ad revenue. I can't afford to wait any longer, guys. My subs are dropping, so we need to get a video out. I can't show you right now, but maybe I'll tweet it out later today when BattleNet is back up. I'll show you some angles, so go follow my Twitter, check it out. I'll post a video on Route 66 later on there for this player. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Did I miss anything? Mostly wanted to focus on those big, super glaring issues because, like I said, having that bad habit is going to haunt you for your entire Overwatch career, shall we say. Remember, spray and pray is never the way. So anyway, guys, never forget to stay positive and have a great day. Peace out.